Hey everyone, it's Strange Michael. I hope you're doing well today. I have some news to talk about here once again about Mike Flanagan. Yesterday, whilst Chris Stuckman was uploading his video, I was uploading mine. So any official information he gave in that video of his, just understand, I was uploading at the same time. I already had my video recorded, nothing had been said, his video hadn't been released. Forgive me. But anyway, I have another Mike Flanagan news report here. The dude is extremely talented, and he's in the news a bunch this week. Anyway, this has not been officially announced, but there is a rumor running around the internet. I saw it on Reddit this morning at like 5:30 when I woke up, could not sleep, stayed up for about an hour, looked around on Reddit and read a book and whatever. Anyway, so I was hanging out and I saw this news that Mike Flanagan himself may or may not be possibly drawn into the abyss that is the Exorcist franchise to pick up where David Gordon Green left off. Maybe not with a direct sequel to his terrible Exorcist Believer film, but maybe his own thing. Nobody really knows. And again, it's not really official per se. People are just kind of discussing it, talking about it, thinking about it, hoping for it. Because the only two people that I really trust anymore in the horror film community that are in the big budget, area, I guess. I don't know, genre, I don't know what to call it. The only two people I trust in that are Mike Flanagan and Fede Alvarez, because both of those guys have amazing scope and ideas for what they want to do and how they do it. I'm looking forward to a new Alien movie. I haven't liked an Alien film since Prometheus, and I didn't like many before it, so it tells you a lot about who I am and how I feel. Exorcist is one of those abyss franchises, as I said, that are basically the whirlpool that eventually just drowns you. There's an original film based on the William Peter Blatty book. He was involved with the movie, and it's really solid. It's a really good movie. A lot of people consider it the ultimate best Exorcist film. My personal favorite is Part 3, Exorcist 3 Legion, which is based on another William Peter Blatty book that's the direct sequel to the Exorcist book called Legion. And it's amazing. It's wonderful. It's wonderfully directed and everything. It's kind of like a psychological, supernatural thriller. It's badass if you haven't seen it. I love Mike Flanagan. I really do. As I said yesterday in my review for the news about the Shelby Oaks thing, I guess, not so much a review, he clearly, and apparently after watching Chris's video, he's been involved with that project for about a year. He clearly has something he sees in that project, whatever, that he likes and that he wants to admire, not just as a friend to Chris Stuckman, I'm sure is a big name in Hollywood and horror indies and whatever. He's probably made a lot of friends already. I'm willing to bet that Mike Flanagan has some kind of intrigue into that Shelby Oaks project to be as involved as he is as a producer and everything. However, with this, The Exorcist, I would say the same thing. I would say that there must be, if he's in talks for it officially, again, nobody really knows for sure or not, it's just kind of discussed a lot, but being on the big websites of news reports, it's probably true that it's at least rumored he might join on, possibly. He must see something he can do with either the David Gordon Green film, which I hope is just dropped and forgotten, or with his own thing that I would love to see, whether it would just be a two-part duology or whether it would be finishing off the David Gordon Green trilogy. I don't care, I just want to see what he does. But I worry about if he picks up from the David Gordon Green trash-ass movie, is the Rian Johnson roundhead hipster type's going to come to the channel and be like, see, he started this awesome trilogy. Shut up, asshole. David Gordon Green is a good director. I think he makes beautiful-looking films like Halloween Ends and Exorcist Believer. The problem is he makes bad films like Halloween Ends and Exorcist Believer. He has some good ideas, amazing ideas sometimes, like Halloween 2018 and Halloween Kills. Fuck you, it's good. But I don't know what Mike Flanagan could do to improve that terrible-ass story that the Believer movie had. I don't know who signed off on that. Clearly not the same guy who spent the $400 million for the Exorcist licensing money, whatever, that fee for that. $400 million. $400 million. That's insane to me. For The Exorcist, it's not Michael Myers, it's not Freddy. There's not a huge fan base obsessed with Exorcist films like there is Freddy or Jason or Michael or even fucking Frankenstein and Dracula like myself. There's not an obsessed fan base like that. The bet on horror normies and teenagers and people who remember the OG movies to go see that film was insane to me. Whereas the new Halloween films, you could have the new teenagers and kids and whatever going to see it, and you'd have the adults who love Michael Myers and grew up on him in the 80s and the 70s and the 90s too, going to see it. There was a lot of betting there that was the smart thing. You could not pitch like a Rugrats movie nowadays to 80s kids. They've grown up into their 40s and 50s now. You couldn't possibly make that work and expect a ton of money on that, aside from them being grandparents now and taking their grandkids. You couldn't do it. And I don't think Exorcist was the project to bet that money on. I don't know why Blumhouse was so determined to get this franchise for themselves. Maybe they were hoping for the same reception as the Halloween franchise all the way up to Halloween Ends. I don't know, man. I just don't think Believer was good. I don't think it was worth the time, and I reviewed it a few months ago in case you want to hear my opinions about that trash-ass movie, as I said. But Mike Flanagan either has a really good idea or he's decided to make some money. Easily. Because I think anything you do at this point could probably be better than that Believer film, to be honest with you. This should have never been a franchise. Mike Flanagan may or may not be able to save it. I'm not going to bet against the guy because he's proven me wrong a lot in the past with other things he's done that I didn't think I would like as much, like Hush, and I love it. It's probably my favorite film he made. By the way, if you can't watch it on Netflix because it's gone, you can watch it on YouTube, which is pretty badass. Go check it out. It's a phenomenal movie. Go support him in general. But yeah, that's all I wanted to share with you. Mike Flanagan's working on this. I tried to think of some ideas last night as I stayed awake for about an hour, reading about this news. What kind of ideas I would recommend in this video that he could go about to either expand on the David Gordon Green film or do his own thing. I kind of want it away from everything. I kind of just want its own secluded, possibly duology. Leave it on a big cliffhanger for the end of part 1, bring everybody in for part 2, get that word of mouth out there. The biggest thing for me is that the Mike Flanagan style is usually very quiet horror, like The Haunting of Hill House, Hush, like I said. It's interesting to me that he would want to get brought into this loud, obnoxious, over-the-top, goofy sometimes, or most of the time, franchise, like the Exorcist films. I just don't know why he would want to get drawn into that unless he was making like a sequel to The Exorcist 3, which I don't think should happen. You know, I think he could do it. I just think his subtlety, which would work in any type of horror, any genre or subgenre of horror, I think that would work with his style. But the quietness of his types of films and TV shows he typically makes, I don't see it working. Even Dr. Sleep, which a lot of people love, I think it's okay, kind of boring. A lot of people love that movie. It's very quiet compared to something like The Shining, which is a very art house movie. They're very different films. They tie very close together, but they're very different, you know? So anyway, I love Mike Flanagan. I'm curious to see what he'll do with this and what his involvement with Shelby Oaks will mean at the end of the day when that comes out, supposedly this year, I assume. Very talented man, not going to bet against him. So hopefully he just either completes the David Gordon Green trilogy in a good way, or makes a good middle film that sets up a director to succeed on the third movie. Maybe we'll have a Star Wars situation. David Gordon Green will come back for that third film. I doubt it. I really doubt it after the Blumhouse losses on Ends and Believer. But, you know, you never know. But Mike Flanagan is the guy to go to. Again, he and Fede Alvarez are the go-tos if you want to, in desperation, beg somebody to make you a good film to justify your $400 million purchase. Anyway, what do you think about the news? What do you think about some ideas that you could come up with down in the comment section down below if Mike Flanagan would pick this up? How do you think he'll approach it? Do you think he'll venture out into that loud and obnoxious Exorcist movie form we've had since the original? Or do you think he'll kind of do something, again, quiet and subtle, like a Babadook with The Exorcist or something? I don't know. I'd love to hear everything you have to say down in the comment section down below. Thank you all for watching, guys. God bless you all, and goodbye.